One of the most dramatic World Series ever results in the Astros winning Game 7 over the Dodgers 5-1. Now Houston getting a chance to celebrate their first ever World Series championship.
Travis, how are they feeling? Probably a little hot. It seems humid up there.
Yeah, what was the giveaway? Me just sweating out here? As far as the Longhorns, I don't know if comfortable is the right word in this situation when you're facing elimination, but they are confident. We go to overtime for the first time in Super Bowl history. Tom Brady and the Patriots get the ball first, and it was over after that. They marched right down the field. James White in for his third touchdown.
Travis, tell us, is there hope for an upset?
There's a little bit of hope, and I will tell you why here in just a little bit. Let's set the scene, though. It's an undefeated 8th-ranked Baylor team that comes to town. On the other side, we know Texas is in a bad spot.
Travis, what was on the agenda for the Horns today?
Hey, Ed. Well, it was a busy day, as all the days are here for the Longhorns in China. They started the day in Hangzhou, ended up back here in Shanghai, where they'll spend the rest of the week.
I'm also not going to just totally dismiss him as an Ohio State homer and say Tom Herman is totally, hands clean in this situation.
To practice, DeMarcus Hall brings positivity.
Every day you see him, doesn't matter what type of day it is, he has a huge smile on his face.
He brings energy to everyone.
He'll walk into a room and he'll bring joy into the room because of his presence.
That attitude exemplifies who he is, but it's also an after effect of what he's been through.
I remember being in the gym with my friends, and we were just throwing the football around, just see who could make it in the basketball goal. So I tried throwing it, and like that first throw, I kind of knew something was wrong because I couldn't throw anymore. I had told my mom about it, and so she took me to the emergency room, and they thought it was my rotator cuff. So they just told me put ice on it and pain medicine for 3 weeks. So I did that for 3 weeks straight, and then it was still hurting after that. So my mom took me to my doctor, and my mom's just like, don't look, because I'm really like, I don't really like needles. And it was like this big old needle, and they stuck it in my shoulder, and nothing came out. And so I remember just biting down on my jacket, just screaming because I was in so much pain. And then so they didn't get no fluid out, and so that's when they sent me to Dale's Children, and then that's when they told me I had cancer.
At just 14 years old, diagnosed with stage 3 large B-cell lymphoma.
It was a lot, especially on my mom. Her mother had cancer at the same time, so it was a lot. I just took it as a motivation, just to wake up and see my mom happy every day. So that was my motivation, and just to stay strong.
6 months of chemotherapy followed.
Once you hear the word cancer, a lot of things go through your mind. I never looked the other way as if things were gonna go bad. I always looked for the things to go good.
The chemo worked, and Hall did get better.
Once they told me I was cancer-free, I was kind of in shock because being stage 3 and at a young age, it's a lot to take in. Cancer-free and with time to recover, it became time for DeMarcus to overcome another obstacle. The doctors have told me, hey, you're not gonna be able to throw baseball no more. You're not gonna be able to play football no more. So I never really developed that knot into my vocabulary. So when they told me I couldn't do it, I just knew from the get-go, like, this is something I was born to do, and I'm gonna keep doing it. A young man that is now one of the top defensive players for San Marcos, a big reason they won a district title for the first time in 14 years, and a young man who will have a chance to play football in college. 4 years he can look forward to, knowing that he's 4 years removed from beating cancer. In San Marcos, I'm Travis Recek for the High School Blitz.
This is our hometown.
And the hometown team has its look. More on the Austin FC coming up. Welcome into Sports Night. I'm Travis Recek. In 7 days, we're going to have college football and high school games to actually view. Until then, we talk, and we got a chance to talk to the Longhorns this afternoon. They sit just 9 days away from the opener against Maryland. The training camp style practices, they're pretty much behind them. The preparation for the Terps is ramping up. Most of the guys we talked to today downplayed the notion of this being a revenge game and something that means a little more because they lost to Maryland last year. Texas just ready to see the work they're putting in pay off.
We're coming together.
Texas, they got plenty of depth at the receiver spot, so the loss of Davion Curtis shouldn't have a harsh impact. The sophomore receiver out of Temple announcing he's going to transfer out of the UT program. Curtis redshirted back in 2016, played in one game last year, and never had a catch as a Longhorn. The high school football tour rolls on. Tonight we check in on an Austin school who's quickly turned into one of the top programs in the area, and a San Antonio school just trying to turn things around. Coming off an 0-10 season, this next team is surprisingly positive when it comes to turning around the program. The East Central senior class has won a total of 5 varsity games in their career, 4 of which came during their freshman year. But this year, things could turn around for the Hornets. It's their 3rd season under former Longhorn lineman and head coach Joe Hubbard, and with 9 offensive and 8 defensive starters returning, the Hornets have a lot of experienced guys leading the team. A couple of those guys to watch out for on defense include lineman Christian Kaufman, DB Evian Thompson, and linebacker Mason Alvarado. You know, one of the real problems for East Central, it's just that they play in probably the toughest 6A district in the state. We're talking about 26 6A with the likes of Steele, Judson, and Smithson Valley. So yes, at this time next week, we'll have actual high school games to talk about. So tonight, we're going to wrap up our summer spotlight series with a guy looking to have a huge senior year. Not long ago, he committed to Oklahoma State, a program that has dominated the San Antonio area in recent recruiting years. So let's find out more on this big-time player.
It really showed like the type of grit we had and like the ability to overcome adversity, because as a winning program, we're not used to losing, but I feel like we needed that in the beginning of the season to make our long run as we usually do in the playoffs. Like that's all we've been dreaming for since freshman year. Like they ingrained it in our heads. We chant state every day. It's just a dream that we've been trying to work for. So to be able to be state championships would be a dream come true. I didn't really start getting Division I offers until after my junior year. My first one was Air Force. I was super happy for that, and then spring ball came, and then it just went up from there. Schools from all around talking to me and really wanted me on their team, but early June is when Oklahoma State decided to offer me, and I knew that was a school that I've been looking at for a long time, so it was an overall great fit for me. Their mentality is if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Like they've been recruiting here for a long time, and it always has helped their team really good, so they continue to come down here every year, no matter what. Surprisingly, I cut it like every once in a while. It just grows super fast, but I like the style for now, so I'm gonna keep it that way for a little while.
Bit ever hard to put in the helmet or style it or anything?
No, you just gotta push it back a little bit and you're straight. Won't get in your face or anything.
Player part of another great secondary for the Steel Knights this season. All right, it's break time, but much more Sports Night still on the way. Coming up next, we're talking more Austin FC, the name and logo reveal going down last night. We're gonna hear from the people behind it. Back with that in 2.